So your life is not really panning out the way that you want it to, and you want to be able to do little things different. But what is it that you're going to do? How is it that you're going to make those changes? Because for some reason, until now, you weren't able to make those changes. And we need to start to do things a little bit differently. And I recently went through something where I had this belief about a specific topic, which we're going to talk about, that I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to get myself in there. And I ended up finding a way to get myself around it to be able to take that action. And I'm trying to be vague now because I think for all of us, we want to be able to do something and that we can't get ourselves to do it. And we have to try to figure out what is it that we can be doing. So the first thing we need to start to understand is if we get to get clarity in terms of what is going on, how is it that we can start to move forward? That's going to start to get us in the right direction, just facing the right direction. Because for so many of us, we're facing east when we need to be facing west, or south when north, whatever. We don't even know where it is that we're supposed to be going. And if we can start to just get ourselves directionally in the right position, that's going to help us be able to move forward. So for me personally, I knew I wanted to do certain things. I knew I wanted to be able to work on new ideas in terms of my own coaching, in terms of how I can look to make the impact and help people. And I realized that for me, opening up a community was going to be the way to do it. And I've been thinking about this for months right now. But the last time I opened up my community, I had one problem. I was able to get people in, but they weren't the right people. So I wasn't able to build. There wasn't so much engagement, and I wasn't really able to help those people who were in the community. And what I realized is that it was tough because I didn't know how to get people in. And then I realized that I really need to learn the ads, like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, whatever it is I need to be doing in order to get people into my community. And I was listening to a podcast and I ended up finding somebody who was really successful at this thing. And guess what? She had a community where, guess what? She helped people run ads to their communities. And at first I was like, I don't know if I could do it, this and that. And I kept watching more and more of her type of content. And I realized like, this is exactly what I need. You look at like the best athletes. They all spend money to get themselves in the best shape or the best training possible. Why would they spend so much money to do that? They're the best. Why does LeBron James have any coaches who training and teaching him things? And the reason is because they realized that in order to become the best, they have to do those things. And I realized that I was shying away in terms of putting my money where my mouth was in terms of the way that I wanted to do it. I thought I could do it other ways. I thought I could hire other types of people. And I realized that no, this is the way. This is what I need to be able to do. And I joined the community and it was like get money back guarantee and all the good things. And guess what? It was even better than I thought. And the support that I'm getting and the fact that I just started running my first ads with support, meaning somebody looked at my ads and said, hey, you should change this, this, and this. And guess what? After 72 hours, they're going to be doing the same exact thing and showing me exactly what it is I need to be doing in order to tweak it, in order to make it good. So I think for all of us, we all have things in our lives. We all have ideas or beliefs in our minds that we want to be doing more. And for some reason, we just can't get ourselves to do it. And the trick we need to understand is number one, find a mentor, find somebody that you trust, find somebody who can lead you in terms of that direction that you want. But guess what? It might not be the first and it might not be the second. But if it's the fifth or sixth, is it worth it? Is it the 19th or 20th? Is it worth it? They say in football when they are giving the running back the ball to run. So they might be getting only 1 or 2 yards, maybe losing some yards. But there's going to be a play where they're going to break free for 30 yards or they're going to score that touchdown, whatever it is. And they have to keep feeding them the ball. And I think for so many of us, we can't get ourselves to do that because we get so scared because the first one didn't work. And recently there was a guy in the community who posted his first ads and he said, he was telling me, congrats on posting your first ads. I just started running my second ads and my first ads were a dud. And I responded to him saying that they might have been a dud, but you have to understand, out of all the people who want to learn to advertise, only a small percentage of people take that first step. And out of all those people who take that first step, how many of them fail the first time and then take the second step? It's an even smaller percentage. And I said, you did that. Like you're one of those people who continue to take the action, who didn't get scared of doing it, and you still moved forward. I said, that's what you should be celebrating. And he responded saying like, wow, you're actually right. Like I never thought about it like that. And I think for so many of us, we try to put ourselves in a position and yet it doesn't work out. So it must not be true. It must not be real. And I don't believe that. And I think just things to take time and things are more difficult than we think. And I think the more we get into it, then the more we have better understanding we have. It's like when I'm trying to, teach kids basketball, right? So when I, used to coach basketball, so I'm trying to teach them things, but I didn't realize how many little things I'm picking up in terms of like the movement of the other players, in terms of like, every time I play, first thing I'm trying to pick up is this guy a righty or a lefty? Because that's going to, tell me which way is their strong hand in terms of the more of the direction that they're going to be using. And that's something I need to know. And I don't think everybody does that when they play ball, but that's something that I'm picking up. And therefore, I'm playing defense differently, and I'm trying to do things differently. But there's so many small different things. And the more you get used to something, the more you just start absorbing the different ideas, that's going to be something that's going to be helping you to be able to move forward, to take that action. So understanding, trying to find that mentor could be something that could be massive in terms of your own growth and your own just direction. The second thing you need to try to understand is, what are those limiting beliefs of yours? What are those things that are holding you back, saying you can't do it? So sometimes it could be like we spoke about, you've quote unquote tried before and it didn't go the right way. It could also be your expectation, meaning we all have a certain expectation of how things should be. We all think A plus B equals C. But guess what? It's not always like that. And because of that, because our expectation is off in terms of what's going on, everything gets thrown off. For example, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I definitely can relate to this one. I wanted to lose weight and I thought I'm going to start eating healthy and doing all these different things. And then I started to do X, Y, and Z. And then guess what? I didn't lose weight. So what's going on here? I had a certain expectation. Then I get upset and down and I end up having the cookie or having the ice cream, whatever it might be. And all that happens is that I just beat myself up. But it's not really appropriate because it was just my expectation. Think about it. If I had a different expectation, that would be even harder. And I did a little bit, then guess what? I'd feel so much better about myself. But that's all up in here. That's all in our minds. And we all have the ability to start to change that. And if we can start to figure that out, that could be something that could be so special when it comes to really anything we're looking to accomplish. Have the proper expectation. That doesn't mean we should be negative all the time. It doesn't mean we should be down, but just be realistic. Did you take your quote unquote 10,000 shots yet? And you all have that ability to be doing that. But what are we doing about it? We're setting such high expectations. We're looking at ourselves owning billions of dollars already, and we're manifesting it, which is amazing. But at the same time, we're not taking the action that's going to allow us to get there. And if we can start to put ourselves forward just a little bit, that could be something that could be even more special when it comes to all the work that we're looking to do. So ask yourself, what are your expectations? Are they realistic or are they not realistic? And how is it that we're looking to change them? Another thing that might be holding us back, another belief, might be not from anything we have done, but based on what other people say about us. This happens a lot in school when a teacher might say to a kid, you're just not an athlete, or you're just not a math person, or whatever it might be that they say. Or it could be a teacher, it could be an adult, it could be a parent, it could be a friend, whatever it is. But somebody else puts this prison around you that you can't do something. The question is, why not? Why can't you? Who says? One of the things I kept telling, one of the things I love this. One of my son, my oldest son, he has a shirt, and on the shirt it says, "So what?" And one time he was in camp, and they were playing kickball, and he was in the youngest bunk in camp, and he came over and he wanted to play in like the league, the game. And there was like, he was going to first grade, and there was like, I don't know, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in there. There's no reason why he should be been playing there. But one of the 8th graders on the other team, said, come and play, whatever. And he went to go play. And then another kid was like, he can't play. He came too late or something like that. And one of the 8th graders like looked at my son's shirt that said, "So what?" on it. And he just pointed to it. It said, "So what?" And my son was like, "Yeah, so what?" And the kid was like, "Okay." And then my son played. And it was one of the biggest lessons that I think he had, that whenever somebody says something to you, all you got to do is just say, "So what?" "Oh, you can't do that." "So what?" Who says, why can't I do that? We're not talking about something illegal over here, but we're talking about something that like you have the ability to do. You might not be the best at it, and you might need skills to be able to learn how to do it even better. But why can't you do that? Why can't we have that ability to be able to move forward and to take that action to try the ads out? Why can't I be the one to be able to coach some entrepreneurs and who make millions of dollars? Why can't I build an enterprise worth $20 million? Whatever it is going to be for you. Why can't I have a six pack? Why can't I lose 50 pounds? Whatever it is. Why can't I write a book? Why can't I create an online course? You have the ability to do it. And if somebody says you can't, who says? Who's making those rules? And it's on us to be able to make those decisions. And if we're not going to be able to move forward with that, then guess what? It's not on us. We have the ability to make those things happen. And all we have to do is we have to look to see who is holding us back and cut those chains off and say, so what? I don't care. I don't believe that. That is not my belief. That might be your belief, but that is not my belief. And I think for so many of us, we get so stuck from other people's beliefs that we're not able to take the action that we want. I think the last thing that we need to start to figure out is what's the mindset that we're having? Are we having this growth mindset? Are we believing in ourselves that we can take certain actions, that we can be doing so much more? Or are we the ones who said, nah, I don't have that ability. That's not me. And I think if we could have that growth mindset, that could be something that could be so beneficial to our own personal growth and really help us. And a piece of advice for anyone out there is sometimes we're looking for a secret. We're looking for something to teach us some way, one specific action that we need to do to change everything. It's going to change my whole life. And the truth is, there's not just one thing there. There's a lot of things. There's thousands of steps, millions of steps that are going to have to take. But just pick one. Try to figure out which one I need to take. And I think you can start to do that. I think that can start to shift so much, because for so many of us, we want to be able to be doing more. And if we would have just been wanting to do it months ago and started to take those steps months ago, do you not think you'd be in such a different place now? And the answer is, of course you would be. And we need to ask ourselves, like, why are we not there yet? Why can't we take those small steps? It's not going to be perfect. And guess what? It's not supposed to be perfect. I give you permission to mess up. I'm running my ads. And guess what? The win over here is not getting people to sign up. The win over here is with me pressing the publish button. And I'll continue to tweak. And as long as I continue to move forward, then I'll be able to make things happen. And I think for all of us, we have these abilities to be able to take the action. And it's on us to be able to do what it is that we need to be doing. Wishing you all the best. If you have any questions, like always, feel free to reach out. See everybody on the next one. Peace out.